I'm Michael Martin,
And I'm Laurie Martin.
and we first discovered NUCCA when we used to go to a bed and breakfast in Sparta, Wisconsin. Our kids loved it because it had a pool and it's got its own restaurant. And the proprietor always walked with a cane. And we were in the restaurant one day and we saw the proprietor bounding by, and I said, Laurie, I said, that was Ron that just ran by. And he came bursting into the restaurant and he said, Martins, how are you people doing? I said, well, we're fine, but what about you? And he said, oh, you haven't been here since last year. He said that he had gone to a different kind of a chiropractor in, not Sparta, Toma, and that it had taken him almost the entire day to be treated with x-rays and all sorts of different testings, and that when he walked out of the office, he had his cane under his arm and he's never used it since. Well, we became enthralled with that story because my wife had been going through some terrible cortisone shots in her lower spine, and it was terrible. She'd scream out and cry, it hurt so bad. And so we made an appointment with Matthew, and he spent almost the entire day with Laurie. And she came out and she just felt great. And he said, be careful when you get in the car because people with sore backs don't bend over any more than they have to, and that he'd had some people knock their heads and lose their correction. And we continued to go to Matt. I then went to Matt, and something that the medical doctors had said that I was going to have to live with for the rest of my life, and that I would have to take painkillers the rest of my life. And it was the result of an auto accident I had had many years earlier. But an interesting thing, too, was when Laurie went to her physician back in town, she said, would you measure me? And they said, well, generally we don't measure older people anymore. And so she said, well, please do so. And they measured her and they said, oh, the charts are wrong. You're an inch and a half taller than we've got on the chart here. And we just kind of smiled. When we got home from Toma the first time that we went to Dr. Matt, we turned on a television, and I think it was Dr. Zorb on public TV that said, I'm telling you that if you can't find relief from the medical society, think out of the box. And we looked at each other and just started to laugh because that's exactly what had happened. We were amazed about it. I was superintendent in a relatively small town. I knew who had the sore backs. And I referred many people from Parkers Prairie, Minnesota, and we've had people come running across the bank lobby and hug us and say, you've given me my life back. Because shortly, I think we'd been going to Matt for maybe 3 years, and then he said, I finally have someone closer to you in Minnesota that I can highly recommend. And that's when we met Dr. Jeff. And we were so pleased that he has that same magical presence as Dr. McNally. One of the things that really amazed us was our grandson was 2 years old, and he was having trouble with coordination, and they discovered that one of his legs was longer than the other. And we asked Dr. Jeff about that, and he said, please bring him in. He said, that's really easy to fix. My grandson had been told that he was going to have to wear special shoes for the rest of his life. And Dr. Jeff had him just perfect, and he's never had any issues since. We love recommending Dr. Jeff, and there's so many thankful people. It still amazes me. I just can't believe it that you're barely touched. And when I had my correction, I could hardly feel it, and I felt I could hear my vertebrae snapping into place, and I thought, I shouldn't be laughing about this. This is my one and only spine that he's fooling around with. But we've really enjoyed NUCCA tremendously.
That's amazing.
It's a lifesaver.